The Sukhoi Su-35 Flankery is the top Russian air superiority fighter in service today and represents the pinnacle of fourth-generation jet fighter design. Distinguished by its unrivaled maneuverability, most of the Su-35's electronics and weapons capabilities have caught up with those of Western equivalents, like the F-15 Eagle. But while it may be a deadly adversary to F-15s, Eurofighters and Rafales, the big question mark remains how effectively it can contend with fifth-generation stealth fighters, such as the F-22 and F-35. A moment ago, Russia has deployed a contingent of Su-35 heavyweight air superiority fighters to Qamishli Airport in northeastern Syria, marking the first ever major deployment of Russian fighters to the facility. The airport is very near the positions of Turkish and US forces, which have deployed alongside various auxiliary militia forces to occupy large parts of northern Syria. Unlike Russia, which was given permission by the internationally recognized Syrian government to deploy military assets to Syrian soil, Turkey and the United States are widely seen to be in Syria legally, as they have permission of neither the UN Security Council nor of Damascus. The deployment comes as Turkey has threatened to escalate its campaign against the Syrian government with the deployment of heavy weapons after Ankara placed jihadist militant groups in northern Syria under its protection. The Russian Air Force has frequently intervened on the side of Syrian government forces to intercept Turkish fighters and escort them out of Syrian airspace and to conduct airstrikes against militants backed by Turkey. Su-35s at Qamishli are equipped for air-to-air combat with R-77 and R-73 air-to-air missiles. Turkey's ability to counter these fighters remains limited, particularly since 2016, when a large portion of its Air Force's officer corps were arrested following a failed coup attempt, and since it has been unable to purchase modern fighter aircraft after being evicted from the F-35 program. The Su-35 entered Russian service from 2014 and saw its first ever overseas deployments to Syria in early 2016.
Aren't taking any chances.
This followed deployments of Su-30SM and Su-34 fighters in September 2015, and a few weeks later of Su-27SM-3 fighters, all of which are based on the same flanker airframe as the Su-35 and participated in the initial stages of operations against various Western, Turkish and Qatari-backed Islamist insurgent groups in Syria. The deployment of the Su-35 in 2016 was seen to be a response to the Turkish downing of a Russian Su-24 in northern Syria, with the Su-35 armed with R-77 missiles, sending a strong signal to Turkey and its allies that further attacks on Russian assets would not be tolerated. Alongside the MiG-31B BSM heavy interceptor, the Su-35 is considered Russia's most capable aircraft in terms of air-to-air combat performance. Lebanon's Al Mayadeen TV channel reported regarding the deployment to Qamishli that the flankers already conducted several reconnaissance flights and would remain at the airport indefinitely. The development comes amid a broader expansion of the Russian Air Force presence in Syria, including the expansion of Qamishli Airbase to accommodate two 22M long-range bombers and MiG-31K strike aircraft, which were deployed to the country for the first time in May and June 2021, respectively. Russia is the main ally of the Syrian regime, while Turkey supports groups that have fought to unseat Bashar Assad. However, Russian and Turkish troops have cooperated in Idlib, the final holdout of opposition forces, and in seeking a political solution in the war-torn country. Russia joined Syria's now 10-year conflict in September 2015, when the regime military appeared close to collapse. Moscow has since helped in tipping the balance of power in favor of Assad, whose forces now control much of the country. hundreds of Russian troops are deployed across Syria, and the country also has a military air base along Syria's Mediterranean coast. The design of the Su-35 incorporates the most successful engineering concepts that previously tested well on the Su-27 Su-30 aircraft family. The Sukhoi Su-35 is a version of the Su-27 fighter jet that has been deeply modernized to achieve a significant increase in its combat effectiveness against aerial, ground, and sea surface targets. According to United Aircraft Corporation, UAC, the Su-35 combines the qualities of a modern fighter and a good tactical airplane. Nevertheless, the Su-35 takes the title of 4++ generation fighter aircraft. The Su-35 is definitely the most capable fighter in Russian Air Force, and there is no doubt that it presents a serious threat to any 4th-gen aircraft out there. The Sukhoi Su-35 carries a 30mm cannon, has 12 hardpoints, and can detect targets at more than 400 kilometers, while its radar can track up to 30 targets simultaneously. The fighter has range in excess of 3,500 kilometers without refueling. The world's most powerful 4th-generation fighter's standout features include new engines, avionics, and radar. Currently, the Russian Air Force operates only 48 Su-35s. Another 50 were ordered in January 2016 and will be produced at a rate of 10 per year. The Su-35s were intended to send a message that the Russians could pose an aerial threat if attacked. The Su-35 is at least equal, if not superior, to the very best Western 4th-generation fighters. The big question is how well can it perform against a 5th-generation stealth plane such as the F-22 or F-35. The more serious issue, though, is that we don't know how effective stealth technology will be against a high-tech opponent. An F-35 stealth fighter that gets in a short-range duel with a flanker will be in big trouble, but how good a chance does the faster, more maneuverable Russian fighter have of detecting that F-35 and getting close to it in the first place? Both parties obviously have huge economic and political incentives to advance their claims. While it is worthwhile examining the technical merits of these schools of thought in detail, the question will likely only be resolved by testing under combat conditions. Furthermore, other factors such as supporting assets, mission profile, pilot training, and numbers play a larger role in determining the outcomes of aerial engagements. The Su-35 may be the best jet-age dogfighter ever made and a capable missile delivery platform, but whether that will suffice for an air superiority fighter in the era of stealth technology remains to be seen.